It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Some of the names that have been etched on this are Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury, everyone's behind me, Henry Cooper, Anthony Joshua, and that goes to show the significance and the magnitude of this fight. Jamie and Fraser were able to put their name in the history books on October the 25th. The BBC obviously is one of the biggest platforms in millions and millions of homes nationwide. And the fighters, the Olympians, the world champions, the rising stars all have an opportunity here to make themselves massive, massive household names. But enough about me, no one's here to really hear what I have to say. Let's start bringing on the fighters. So first, let's introduce Jamie TKB. And next, the other side of this heavyweight contest, Fraser Clark.
So all eyes on Big Fraser now. It's time for me to spin on the wings and show you what I'm about.
Right, guys, this is a big fight, not just for yourselves, but for British boxing in general. Fraser, I'll come to you first. You captained Team GB at the Olympics. You brought home a medal for your country. How does fighting for a British title compare to that moment?
I mean, obviously, the Olympic journey, the Olympic medal is something that I strive for years, as is this British title. So, you know, they both hold huge significance in my life and in my career. With this British title, like I said, you may have to look at the names that were on there before, you know, Henry Cooper, Tyson Fury, AJ, Lennox Lewis. So I'm sure myself and Jamie know the heritage in this bout and what it means to be the British heavyweight champion.
Just building on that, this is now boxer's first event with the BBC. It is in every house in Britain. It is a massive, massive platform to be able to express yourself on and to perform on. What does it mean to be making yourself available to such a massive market?
I mean, I think over the last few months, it's been documented about, you know, boxers' journey, and just like any fighter's journey, promotion's had a bit of a difficult time, and it's looking to bounce back. And I've had to do that. James had to do that. What better way, what better place to bounce back than the BBC? You know, I think the fact that it's going to be accessible to everyone, you know, eyes are going to be on the sport, eyes are going to be on the British heavyweight title. Myself and Jamie, we have a responsibility. For the first headliners fight for the British title on this new platform with these new eyes, hopefully bringing more audience from different backgrounds, different walks of life, being able to tune in and see what British boxing is about, British heavyweight boxing, in fact. And you know, I think me and Jamie have already had a few words this morning, and this isn't the typical and usual heavyweight contest. There's going to be no chairs thrown. There's going to be no tables thrown. There doesn't really need to be no slang between us. Listen, we've probably all been there and done it, but we've matured. This is two men are dedicated to their craft, love the sport, and we're willing to compete with each other to be the best in Britain at heavyweight. And like I say again, once again, it's a privilege for myself to be able to do that live on the BBC.
October 25th is the Valiant Arena in Derby. 8 PM, prime time, BBC Two. The undercard will be on BBC iPlayer. What a big opportunity this is for you as well, Jamie. How are you approaching this moment?
I'm excited and I can't put it into words, but not many people realise how big this moment is, not only for boxer, BBC, and for me and Fraser, it's big for British boxing in general. And we're here to, me and Fraser, are going to make history
25.
25 years,
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't even know that. So, yeah, man, it's special. I'm excited about it.
This fight threatened to happen a couple of years ago. There was maybe not tables and chairs thrown, but it was definitely not as nice as it is now. How was that rivalry born, and how has it progressed, and how have we ended up here today?
Well, like I said previously, if you had asked me about Fraser 3 years ago, I said, I'll put my head up, I'll flip him, I'll throw a chair in, whatever. But over time, just like you said, we've grown, we're dedicated to our craft, and well, it all started off when I boxed Jake Darnell, and they asked him what he thinks of me, and he had said that he would use me as a tuner. I said, okay, if I'm really a tuner, let's get it cracking. I took it personally, I made it personal, and obviously he took it personally the way I came at him, and then it was a bit of a back and forth. But over time, I respect Fraser a lot, and we now respect each other now. So it's different times, you know.
You've had to graft your way up the ranks sometimes, not in the spotlight. But how does it feel to be headlining the first event on the BBC with Boxer?
Oh, it's big, man. Like I said, it's prime time, baby. You know, so yeah, it's a special moment, man. I can't do it. The pictures were up earlier of the previous champions. I want to be a part of that history. I want my picture to be up next time. So.
Is that a motivation for you to rank and to be mentioned in the same breath as some of those great stars out there?
Of course, 100%.
You've been in boxing, it seems, forever. Part of the amateur setup. It feels like this is what you know better than anybody and better than anything else. What does it mean for the people that are around you, your family, your friends, your community, the people that Loughborough, that you are headlining this event?
Boxing it's become my identity over the years. You're absolutely right. I started this game, as a young, unconfident, overweight child, that didn't really feel like he had a place in sport. And over the years, it's grown me to who I am. It's allowed me to travel the world and have some great experiences. So the people that have been with me since the beginning, they're still with me now, and they've actually shared them experiences with me. And just like Jamie's career, there's been ups, there's been downs, there's been times where it's got really hard, and you have to question yourself on why you're doing it. But I think, like I say, come October 25th, I'll be showing everyone, that I love this sport. I'll be giving everything to become British heavyweight champion. And like I said, I think the journey is so important. The ups and downs and the ebbs and flows. There's been such personality defining and personal development during them trials and tribulations. And it's led me to who I am today, and I'm proud of that person. But what I will say is, this boxing life, and this is to anyone that's watching and maybe wants to get him, it's serious now. And everyone will tell you it's serious, mentally, physically draining, but we do it for moments like the 25th of October.
You've had big fights before. How many of those occasions, in particular the fights with Fabio Bordi, how much have they shaped you as a fighter?
Massively. We had 2 fights, as people know. The first one went down as a classic. The second one, I got chinned. So just look at the ebbs and flows there, from being on that high of possibly winning the British title, which I thought I'd just nick the fight, to then being dismantled in a round. It just shows you the epic swings in boxing. It can happen at any point, but it's how you pick yourself up from them lows. And I think they've really shaped, experience. I've done everything quite quick. I fought for the British title the first time very quick. I probably could have done with a few more fights, but I'm an eager beaver. I want to get moving. Some people will say I'm old, but I'm not. I'm fresh. I feel great. The best I've actually felt. So shout out to everyone at Lions, Dem Jim, and Luke, who have been working with. We feel absolutely fantastic in a great place, and I'm looking forward to the fight.
Jamie, how's your camp been thus far? I feel like we know the moment that this fight was announced, everybody looked at it and was like, that's a good fight. That is one that could gel very quickly. What kind of fight are you expecting? How's your camp been? So it's a loaded question, this. And do you feel a responsibility to have a fight that is fan friendly?
Yeah, in a way. I know I just got to turn up, and that's the main thing. And I'm turning up in the gym. I know I've got to turn up on fight night. Yeah.
What threats does Frazier pose to you? Where is this fight won and lost for you?
I just know, look, Frazier's tough. He showed it with the Fabio fight, the first one, and he showed it again after the fight. After the second fight, coming back as quick as he did, you know, being able to get back in that ring and able to do what he's done. Like I said previously, it shows mental toughness, and that is important for a fighter. So that's what he's shown so far. So I know he's going to come game for this fight.
What kind of fight are you expecting? I feel like a lot of people are expecting maybe something a little bit more similar to the Frazier Clark Fabio for the first fight. I'm sure both of your coaches would prefer you didn't have that type of fight, but I'm sure everybody watching on BBC Two at home will be hoping for that kind of fight. What do you expect when your head hits the pillow like that?
I actually do expect a war. I do expect us to go back and forth. I expect it to be that type of fight. But we'll see what happens on the night.
What threats does Jamie pose to you?
Listen, Jamie's season now, like I say, you know, I feel he's been a better fighter since his defeat, personally, from what I've seen. I think he was doing really well last time out against David Adelaide, who obviously, you know, he's at a certain level. We've seen him go over and fight Filip Bergovic. And he's an all-rounder, you know, I see what he can do. He works well on the inside, he's got a good jab, he's tough, and he's hungry like we all are. Top of what is, I feel I'm a better fighter than him. That's just the self-confidence in me, Dan. That's how it is, that's how it has to be. The work will be done on the 25th of the night, but the work has been being done for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and probably months, even longer, you know. Everything has been geared up at this moment. I think Jamie knew and I knew we'd always meet. Circumstances led it to be that it's going to be on the BBC for the British heavyweight title. But even back in the day, like you say, like in the Sky days, you know, we had a few back and forths, and it was only a matter of time before we got to lock horns, and here we are.
You've mentioned all the hard work that's gone in already. It's a question for both of you actually. There is a certain amount of sacrifice that has to be made to be a boxer. And what would you say is the biggest sacrifice you've had to make to make it to this point today?
I've got 3 beautiful kids. I've got my daughter, 11 weeks old tomorrow. She's already seen her daddy, you know, since she was born. She looks at me, I pick her up and she cries. She doesn't know who I am right now, do you know what I mean? But it's all for the right reasons, you know. I'm a selfish man, Dan. I'm a very selfish man. You can ask anyone. I have to be selfish. The sacrifices are more than anyone can know, you know. The relationships that break down with people, friends, and people you don't get to see. Things you miss, special occasions. Well, I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely love it, you know. I love taking myself, my body, my mind to places where I don't think it can go. In order for one thing, and I have to be victorious.
And to you, Jamie?
I'll say the same thing. You know, just like Fraser, I'm a family man. You know, but yeah, we've made sacrifices to be here. You know. Obviously, I'm not taking it lightly that I've made these sacrifices, so I've got to come out on top on October 25th.
Boxing is all about legacy. On October 25th, what do you want people to say about that fight?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How amazing it was, how exciting it was, and that's what we're aiming for.
Well, looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody is looking forward to it. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll do face off and then do some media stuff as well.